Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Talking Cryptocurrency podcast. I'm your host, Jason Rigden. On this episode of the show, we are talking to Nakia J of HouseAfrica. They're enhancing real estate in Africa using blockchain technology. They're making the buying, selling, and rental process of properties less costly, more convenient, and secure. I'm really excited about blockchain projects in Africa. It was great to talk to Nakia. This was a great interview. You're going to love it. But first, I've got this quick message. I really hope you like this show. I put a lot of work into it. If you do like it, would you please consider doing something for me? Give me a review on Apple Podcasts. Now, if you're a hardcore podcast listener, you are probably sick of hearing this. Every show begs for reviews, and it's a little annoying. But it does make a big difference. Those reviews help people decide to subscribe. They help guests choose which shows to go on. Those ratings and reviews for the shows are a direct way you can help this show grow. So, if you like this show and you want more, please help me. Take the time and give the show a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, or whatever they're calling it now. Hello, on this episode, I'm here with Nakia J of HouseAfrica. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So could you tell me a little bit about the problem you're trying to solve?
So there are about 4.3 billion people throughout Africa, many of whom have inadequate housing or have lack of access to decent housing. And so we hope to correct some of those problems through the site, so or through the platform, through HouseAfrica platform. So basically what we're looking to do is give access to people who are either looking to buy, sell, rent, lease, whether it's a house, apartment, or a piece of land on this platform. And just to kind of circle back for a second, Jason, to the problem. The problem is that a lot of the information, or oftentimes information that people receive in terms of housing, who owns the lot or who owns a building, can be inaccurate. And so that causes a lot of issues. So you may be, as a tenant, you may pay a landlord money for a property that's not his or hers. But what this platform does is it literally legitimizes and makes everything transparent. So we go through the whole process of making sure that the owner is who he says he is, the tenant says who he or she say that they are, that the property is in the right hands. And then once you look at this platform, it is a trusted platform. And you can look at that and either lease your property or rent a property or buy a piece of land based on kind of all of the due diligence that we do for the website.
Okay. And so how are you solving this problem?
So we're solving, again, so there are two or three different components that we're using. The first one is obviously there are existing landlords, existing landowners, and we're vetting them. And we have people on the ground. So our stages are the countries of interest for right now are Nigeria, South Africa, and Kenya. And so we have people on the ground that will go and confirm that this information is correct. That information will then go onto the blockchain, and that blockchain will then obviously be uploaded to the platform. And so we'll have everything absolutely and completely verified. So that's one way we're solving the issue of just sometimes nefarious, operations around real estate. So that's one way. The second way is that we hope to develop properties in Nigeria and in Kenya and South Africa again. So as part of our business model, we do want to develop really high quality, yet affordable platforms. So let me give you an example of this. In Kenya, we're looking at taking shipping containers and refurbishing those, right? So we're going to repurpose. So there's so many, I think, benefits that happen as a result. So one is we're using a shipping container that otherwise would just be sitting at like something called the Mombasa, which is the coast of Kenya, beautiful coast. But we would be taking a shipping container that will normally be sitting there and causing waste and rust and just a plight to the environment. We'll be taking that, refurbishing that, and providing really decent, low cost housing or even affordable cost housing for people throughout Kenya. So in Nigeria, we're looking to um, utilize 3D printing for housing, right? And this 3D printing can be done within a 3 to 10 day kind of gestation period, right? So we would be able as a ICO to build really good quality housing, and particularly in Nigeria where housing is definitely an issue and it's incredibly expensive. Oftentimes, people in Nigeria have to pay anywhere between 6 months to a year of rent plus their security deposit, which is kind of, it prices people out, right? So people go kind of further out the city. And we want to change that obviously by, building affordable housing and not having kind of all of these requirements that are necessary. So, and in South Africa, we're looking to do a combination of both of these things, where we use containers and 3D printing and traditional housing to build our stock of homes. So, we have a roadmap of the time that we like to do this. So, Nigeria, ideally, we would like to do this like the fourth quarter of 2018. I think we're a little bit behind our projections, but we hope to move that up a bit quicker. We hope to be on time with a little bit behind time, I should say, but hoping to get that done. If not by the end the fourth quarter of 2018, certainly by getting started by the first quarter of 2019.
And how do the local governments feel about using blockchain for the real estate? And you're also dealing with three different governments. That's got to be a little bit complicated.
Okay, so I can talk about Kenya, right? Because Kenya, as you know, is one of those places where it's technologically forward. So there is a minister of technology, Njoge, who is absolutely fantastic in understanding uh, blockchain, cryptocurrency space, ICO space, and incredibly supportive of projects like this. In fact, we've had a conversation. We started some preliminary conversation. So they're really absolutely supportive of this. Nigeria is one of those countries where there is a bit of a slow adoption, but we know that there will be legislation fairly soon, particularly if August the 8th happens. You probably know this already, Jason, but the FCC is looking at kind of moving regulation around cryptocurrency. And so if that happens, that just changes the whole global picture around ICOs and cryptocurrencies. So we're hoping that that will happen because that will make it easier for places like Nigeria. And South Africa has really adapted the blockchain cryptocurrency model. So it's a bit easier in both Kenya and South Africa. Nigeria, it is fairly easy, but we hope to move that along. And let me add this, is that our platform is on the blockchain. And so, I mean, I think that the question about whether or not the government will be okay with that, I think that those are they don't necessarily question the way that the platform is used in often cases. So we're really confident in all three countries that we'll be successful and we'll be able to meet our roadmap uh, projections.
Fantastic. And then how about the people being housed? How are they feeling about using this brand new technology?
Well, I think, listen, in places like Nigeria, right? If you say to them, I'm going to give you 3D housing and I'm going to give you 3D housing at a reasonable cost, and I'm going to give you nice quality housing at a reasonable cost, and you're not going to have to pay 1 year upfront plus 3 months security deposit. I don't think that they'll be too upset with using a platform that can provide them that level of access and fairness in the process.
Yeah, when you have a good solution, people really don't care how you got there. They just want the good solution.
Yeah, correct.
So, what have been some of the biggest challenges of doing this?
I think our one of our biggest challenges. I think I heard a couple of your interviews, and I have to say I love the way that you interview people. But I think I heard one of your former interviewees say was financing. You know, that's where we are as well. Is our financing is we're kind of funding all of this out of our pocket because we truly and solely believe in this, and we believe that we can really change the landscape of how real estate is done throughout Africa. So I think our biggest challenge at this point is twofold: is the funding to get the housing done, which we believe that in the next quarter or so we'll be able to raise the money. But I think immediately our one of our bigger issues is marketing. But I mean, we are working on the technology. We have an MVP already up. It should be ready in the next, I guess, 30 to 60 days. So, yeah, I mean, I think those, I mean, if I had to say, those are our biggest challenges. But listen, we have a growing community that we're really excited about. We're looking at about 5,000 on Twitter, 4,000 on Facebook, and we have a community of about 5,600 on Telegram. And so, and our sign up for the MVP already is about 14K. And so we just really started our ICO like early May, mid-May. So we're really excited about the level of growth that we've been able to accomplish along with the community and along with word of mouth in such a short amount of time. And we're looking to grow that certainly when we up our game with marketing. I think we'll be a lot better with that. Yeah.
Have you deployed any units yet?
We haven't necessarily deployed units quite yet, but we're in discussion to do that within the next, I guess, 30 days or so. So we're looking to have kind of a private sale. And the next, I think by August the 1st is what we're projecting that we'll have kind of a private community sale. And we'll be able to release some of those units then as well.
And what are your plans for the future? You just said you're doing a private sale. Do you have any other big plans coming up?
Well, I mean, if you, I don't know if you had a chance to look at our website, but our roadmap is pretty aggressive. And so the biggest plan that we have is to launch our CEO. We're ICO. And develop a foundation. I think those are the two big things on our roadmap. Well, the foundation is not on our roadmap. We will put that on there soon. But developing a foundation, because we really want part of the work that we do to really go to help people who clearly don't have access to housing at all. And so we want to be able to at least through our foundation to provide some relief to people who just can't afford it, no matter how good a platform is, no matter how much integrity we use with, or we institute with buyers and sellers. They just don't have the resources. So we want to be able to use our foundation to help those less in need to have access to the same quality housing as everybody else who's able to afford it will. So I think those are the big things that we're really looking forward to do in the next couple of months. And we'd love to come back on and talk to you a bit more about that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll make sure I get all the links for the roadmap and everything in the show notes.
Good.
So was there anything that maybe I should have asked you that I missed?
We're on Waves. So we're using the Wave platform, and we've had questions about why we're using Waves as opposed to Ethereum. And just to answer that question very simply is because Waves has a user-friendly GUI. And so we're really happy with that. And it's quick and it's really cheap. And so when we looked at kind of what the different types of, blockchain that we could use, Waves was one of those that came up again because it was really easy for our developers to use. It was quick, and important to us is that when people are using the platform, we want to make sure that they're not spending the majority of their money or even a large portion of their money kind of doing the transaction. And so Waves was fortunately allowed us to do that. So yeah, I mean, I think that's where we are.
It's a fantastic project. It's great to hear people who are actually having these kind of blockchain technologies that are really trying to improve the world. It's not just, well, as I've said before, so I talked to someone recently who is doing another public benefit blockchain project. It's like, it's not, almost all the people I talk to are all about the Lambos. They're all about the money.
Or about the what?
The Lambos. Yeah. And it gets a little tiring. So it's wonderful to hear people that are really trying to make a big difference in people's lives. And I really want to thank you for that.
And I should say that we have great people that are advising us, and we should be rolling that out fairly soon. But I think important for us, and I'm proud to say this, that the majority of our developers, the majority of the people on our team, if you look at our website, they're all from Africa. They're all different parts of Africa, and they're absolutely brilliant. And I have not met a team that has worked as hard as this team has to get us as far as we've gotten today. And so, and that makes me really proud. So really happy to say that. I think when we look at a lot of ICOs, the conversation about Africa is always there, whether it's agriculture, whether it's energy, whether it's education. But the people who are developing these type of platforms often don't completely and absolutely understand the continent in the way that someone who lives and breathes it every day and has, these real experiences. And so we've been fortunate enough to have, co-founders and developers and marketing people who are just absolutely brilliant and who are working day and night to get this thing right. And it's not only because, again, it's about the money. It's because it's about their neighbor. It's about the person who lives right next door to them or their cousin. And they understand the issues that many of their family members have had, having access to fair, equal, quality housing. And so this is important to them, not only on a professional level, but certainly on a personal level.
Yeah, you can't beat that when someone's heart is really into something.
Their heart is really into it and is really excited. And in fact, I need to say this, Jason, is that they actually drive me. Like, it's sometimes where I'm like, but they really drive me because they are so passionate about this work.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Thanks, Nakia, for coming on the show. HouseAfrica is a great project with so much potential. I love these decentralized real estate platforms. This project could change so many lives. It's really awesome. If you want to know more about HouseAfrica, all the links are going to be in the show notes. You've been listening to the Talking Cryptocurrency podcast. My name is Jason Rigden, and I have been your host. Thank you for listening to the show. If you liked it, would you please consider leaving us a rating and a review on iTunes? I look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a great day.